Hello. So I have a very special guest today. He's very hard to get. It was hard to book my guest today, but he's here with me, Joel Travelstead, my husband. First of all, I've had people say, people that might have shared these videos and watched and not known who I am or who are you and what are you doing? So
who is this new YouTube person?
This is I'm Meredith Travelstead in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm an OBGYN, mom, wife, have a family, 3 boys, and I felt like God was calling me to have people share their testimonies, just neat stories that I've heard and ways that God is working, especially actually it's grown out of this COVID pandemic and a lot of anxiety and depression, and just people need to hear that the Lord is very active and working in people's lives, and share that encouragement with others. And really my theme verses are Psalm 105 verses 1 through 5, and I'll just read that. Give thanks to the Lord, call on his name, make known among the nations what he has done. Sing to him, sing praise to him, tell of all his wonderful acts. Glory in his holy name. Let the hearts of those who seek the Lord rejoice. Look to the Lord and his strength. Seek his face always. Remember the wonders he has done, his miracles, and the judgments he pronounced. And it's, I really boil that down to the verbs that you hear. Give thanks, make known, sing unto, talk ye, glory ye, seek and remember. And I just love those verbs because you're saying give thanks, make known, share, talk about it, remember what the Lord's done, and tell others. And
when you see that in total, it's your whole life. That's all encompassing. Right,
exactly. So we should be doing that more often. We should verbalize it. We should remember and share what the Lord has done.
As you come and go and work and go to school and go to church and walk in your neighborhood in the afternoon. Yeah, it's always.
That's what the Lord commanded, right? So that dovetails to what we're talking about today. I'm going to read this scripture. We were studying this passage recently, and it reminded us of some teaching that we've had in the past, and really what made an impression on our lives. So we thought we would share today. Ephesians 5:15 through 17. Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise. Make the best use of the time, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is. And so that's really just telling you that, interestingly, that the days are evil. The days just are out of control, get ahead of you, and you lose track of time. The days are evil, and you only have so much of this time, 24 hours a day, and that we shouldn't be foolish with our time, but we should walk as wise followers of Christ and make the best use of time. And so tell about the how we first came to talk about this.
All right, it was probably, I was just trying to think of the time, we're probably talking a little over 10 years ago, because this was back when we lived at our other house over on Montbrook. It's still here in Jackson.
I was John, so 15 years ago.
Oh, so it was that long. Gosh, it was longer than I thought. So about 15 years ago. So we're in our 30s, kind of mid-30s sort of thing, maybe a little younger, maybe a little younger than that, And I guess what was going on is we were, I guess, just starting to teach. We'd had several opportunities to teach. Well, backing up a little bit, we were real big followers of Chuck Missler. Loved Chuck Missler, and had just, over the 4, 5, or 6 years, had just soaked up so much of what he taught. All the obscure, strange things in the Bible to just standard, books of the Bible, but all of it. And so we were getting in more and more to just learning through Chuck Missler. And one of the things he would say is, do you want me to tell you who you worship? It's like, that's a strange question, because of course in America, we're all, or at least down here in the South, most of the people we know, we're all Christians. We all worship Jesus. That's the standard thing. It's all true. Everybody knows that. We all go to church, all that good stuff. But what he would say, do you want me to tell you who you really worship? And his comment was this: give me your checkbook, your calendar, and your DVR. I think he probably said something else at the time, but for us it was DVR.
VCR, right?
Yeah, he probably said VCR or something, but your checkbook, your calendar, and your DVR. He said, if you give me those things, let me review those things of yours, I'll tell you who you worship. And it just made a huge impact on us.
So your checkbook.
Your checkbook, where you spend your money.
Now we're saying a phone in modern day.
Yeah, but
This
that's
is your
basically,
calendar.
that is your calendar.
Yeah.
You let me see where you spend your money, where you spend your time, your calendar, your time.
And this is more
Your,
time.
your DVD, your DVR, that's actually your entertainment. How you get your entertainment, where you spend your money and your time. You let me look at that. And time. Anyway, you let me look at that, and I'll tell you who you worship. And that just made a huge impact on us, because at the time, this will date it. We just loved two things. We used to always record on a DVR. The DVR is a big deal to us, because it's like that's what we changed. We would record Lost. We used to love that show Lost. That 3 years of the series Lost. Before that, we recorded Friends. It was Friends and Lost and things like that. And it was just, you look so forward to it. You record it once a week and run home and watch your show, and you're talking about it during the week. And anyway, that's what we did. But at the time, we started grabbing some television shows that were Christian shows. And we would record those, because maybe we were introduced to them by
teaching kind of shows.
Yeah, teaching shows.
Yeah.
We were introduced to those by Chris Gaucher in our Sunday school class. And we'd go home and find them. It might be the old Hal Lindsey's show, or J.R. Church, who's now passed away, or some of these older folks who had these 30-minute shows, and we began recording those. And so when Missler said that, give me those things, I'll tell you who you're worshiping, we're like, wow, we're spending a lot of time on that. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget the day sitting on our sofa at Montbrook, we just turned it all off. We literally detoxed. Now everybody's talking about detoxing from culture, but this was 15 years ago. We began a detox. We deleted, as much as we loved those shows, we deleted every one of those shows and quit.
But it wasn't really like, we were going to cut ourselves off. It was more like our interests were
Our interest was moving. Yeah, we had these other shows we started recording that had to do with our spiritual life and what we might want to teach one day, and what we wanted to teach our children. And those just became so much more important than watching Lost.
And that was about the time we were praying more, like, Lord, give us that hunger, open our eyes that we might see wonderful truths in your word. And also Jeremiah 29 that everybody says all the time. For I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a future and a hope.
Pause, but that's where everybody stops. They like that part. God has this wonderful plan for our life, but you got to finish the verse.
Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. And you will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart.
And that's the key. See, we all look at that. Yeah.
That's all your heart right there.
We look at the first part, and we want that wonderful promise.
Right.
But that promise is to those who seek him. And what we realized 15 years ago is, man, we're not leaving much room for that.
And I'll say, Joel is a good example of this. Like, his kids can vouch. If you look at his phone, his calendar is almost like a diary. It's scriptures or topics or things he's heard. He puts it all on his phone. He sends text to the boys or me and encouragement. He has teaching ideas, and he's constantly listening to podcasts and scriptural teaching, and it's saturation. It's saturating yourself with the word of the Lord. Every day, all day, like Deuteronomy says, talking about it when you walk along the road, when you sit, when you rise, and as you are going, as you're flying all over town, as you're going to Home Depot, as you're getting out. I mean, you do that. You do that every day. Mm-hmm. And we say we're on Fox detox right now. That's what he used to watch Fox News all the time, but really, you were talking about. It just weighs you down.
It does. It weighs you down. we've been off.
what's going on.
We just don't have a lot of time. We're teaching, so by the time we work and we teach and study and prepare for teaching, we just don't have that much time. So it wasn't, like you're saying, it wasn't a detox like we just decided, oh, these things are all evil, get away from them. It's that we made a priority to fill up our time with other things that we felt like were more important. But now, oh my goodness, every so often something happens, we decide to go back, flip on Fox News or some other news channel or something, and you go, oh my goodness. Immediately you realize how it grabs your attention, how it changes your mood, how you get, your blood pressure goes up or down or whatever. It's just, now that we are away from that stuff more, I realize how much it really was controlled. We were allowing it to control our lives. And you don't realize it till you get away from it.
for other things.
Yeah. Yeah, so now we'll call it the cultural detox.
Cultural detox.
Just away from all the culture.
The other thing I remember is when someone that you love dies and you start going through their checkbook and their phone or their old papers, and you find little things about them, written down, scriptures, or even like monetary things, what was important to them. And it makes you say, what will your children and grandchildren say when they go through your things?
Mm-hmm.
What little fingerprints are you leaving behind?
And that reminds me of the Steve Green song, Find Us Faithful, which
Faithful.
we were thinking about this 27 years ago because we asked Cozy, her sister, to sing that at our wedding. So 27 years ago, we had Cozy sing the song, Find Us Faithful. And in there it talks about when they go through your things, after you've passed away and they go through my things, I pray they'll find us faithful. And it's always been a big deal to us, is that you want to be real, you want to be authentic. And like that, when you're not there to speak, someone should know what you believe. So if somebody was going through your checkbook, looking at what you're recording, glancing at your calendar and your phone, and maybe digging through your drawers, would they have any clue you were a Christian? Would they have any clue that it mattered to you? Mm-hmm. And would you have made any difference in the kingdom? I mean, if somebody can't figure that out without you there trying to convince them of it, then there's probably something wrong.
Worship?
Yeah, who do you worship? Then you're probably worshiping something or someone else. Yeah.
So I want to just close with this scripture. This is Philippians 4:8. And it's really talking about saturation.
It is. It's all about saturation.
Finally, brethren, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good repute, if there is any excellence, and if anything worthy of praise, dwell on these things.
Dwell on these. I love that verse. Read it again, and just stop. Don't take this as some theme verse or just kind of a general feel-good verse. Really read it and listen to it. Read it. Each one of those words. And if you're about to do something, about to record something, about to go to a movie, about to decide whether you're going to join this club or that club, you've been invited to come join this group or whatever.
Right.
Whatever
maybe a good cause.
Yeah, maybe a good cause. But whatever you're about to do, now read this verse.
Finally, brethren, whatever is true.
Whatever is true. That eliminates most news channels.
Yeah. Whatever is honorable.
Whatever is honorable. That eliminates most entertainment. It's filthy. It's sick, and it's not honorable at all.
Whatever is right.
Whatever is right.
Whatever is pure.
Whatever is pure. That eliminates most of your social media.
Right. Whatever is lovely. Whatever is of good repute.
Wow.
If there is any excellence and if anything worthy of praise, dwell on these things.
Yeah, and if you can't find something worthy of praise in what you're doing, then
not just glance at these things, but dwell on these things.
On them. Very cool.
Very good. Thank you. I'll try to get you another time.